Alright, you guys, it's time for an album review. This album slash band was recommended to me by my friend Jess Wallace. Shout out to her, shout out to Jess Wallace, a fellow black metal fan, one of the few other metal nerds that I know. Shout out to her, shout out to her husband Eric, shout out to their daughter Ashlyn. This video is dedicated to them. The band is Old Man's Child, and the album title is Born of the Flickering. After listening to this album, it really baffled me that I had never listened to it before. It's 90s, it's Norwegian, it's melodic black metal, but for some reason it's not talked about. Well, when you research Norwegian black metal from the 90s, you're going to get Burzum, you're going to get Immortal, Dark Throne, Mayhem, Arcturus a little bit, you're going to get Emperor, Satyricon, Demo Borgir, but Old Man's Child is significantly kind of overlooked. And this is the only full album I've listened to by them, but based on this album, they really, in my opinion, based on my research, have been very, very underrated. This is an album that is a very solid piece of melodic black metal. The production is the perfect mix between raw production and polished production. It's raw and gritty, but not too raw. It's melodic, but not overproduced. This is a great album. This is a very great album. It's got a lot of really great moments. It's very melodic. It is very, at the same time, it's completely black metal. It's got that classic Norwegian sound to it. I like the fact that in some of the songs there's a little bit of acoustic guitar just kind of sprinkled into the mix. There's a couple tracks where I can hear keyboards in the background. It's very melodic, and it's a very, very solid release. I really don't know what to say about it. The song titles kind of speak for themselves a little bit. Demons of the Thorn Castle, Swallowed by a Buried One, Born of the Flickering, King of the Dark Ages, Wounds from the Night of Magic, On Through the Desert Storm, Christian Death. Probably my favorite track on here would be either Demons of the Thorn Castle or Born of the Flickering. The guitars are solid. They've got a lot of very melodic leads. The riffs are very, very tremoloed. They're not too trebled out, but they have that more towards the treble, high pitch, higher end sound to them. This album is very melodic. It's very beautiful in its darkness. It's the vocals are pretty spot on. The lyrics are pretty very well written. What you'd expect from black metal. Let's look up some of these lyrics, and I haven't listened to this album that many times. I've listened to it, a couple of times. Let's go to Metal Archives, look at some of the lyrics. Deep within the Shadowland, far beyond the distance, lies a castle upon the hills. Unsettled for 1,000 years, the soldiers that lived there once, warriors from the north, died beneath their enemy's blade and ended with defeat. Now a spell on the castle dwells and breathes inside these walls and awakens from a timeless sleep. Anyway, this is really surprising that I have not heard this album. It's a very good release. It's one that will probably be in my rotation of playlist for years to come. If I was going to put it on a black metal list, it would probably fall somewhere between 16 and 19 on a top 20 list. Looking forward to exploring more of this band's discography. This is really solid piece of melodic black metal. It's got the perfect equilibrium between melodic and raw. It's got very well done guitar work. There's really great, standard black metal riffing, but at the same time you've got melodic lead licks in there that are really, well executed. There's a couple of tracks on there that have guitar solos. Oh my god, guitar solos in a black metal release. Rare for this kind of genre. You can actually hear the bass guitar in this album, contrary to what you hear normally in this type of black metal. You can hear the bass guitar, and it's very well done. The production is just great. It's very well produced. Whoever produced this album, kudos to them. It's the perfect mix, the perfect balance between raw and fuzzy and polished and clean. Old Man's Child, Born of the Flickering. If I was going to give this a rating, I would probably give it somewhere between an 8 to 8.5 out of 10, maybe a 9 out of 10. Very good release, very good album, it's really buried in, and overshadowed by a lot of other bands from this era of time. I heard the name of this band many times, but for some reason just kind of overlooked it and didn't listen to it. And thank you, Jess, for really suggesting this, commenting on my list of top 15 black metal albums. She questioned, why is Old Man's Child missing from this list? And upon listening to this album, I don't have a satisfactory answer for that. This is a good album. So, shocked that I've researched a lot of people when I was first getting into black metal. I researched a lot of people's top 10 lists, top 50 lists, top 100 lists, and this Old Man's Child is surprisingly absent from many of the lists that I have looked at. I don't know why. It's from Norway, it's from the 90s, it's got that classic Norwegian sound mixed with melody. It's every bit as wonderful as some early Dimmu Borgir or some Satyricon. Trying to think of bands that are in the same vein. I really love the clean vocals on this album too. They're not overbearing. They're just kind of sprinkled on the top of it. This is a good release. I'm really looking forward to checking out more of their discography. So that's that, but also let's have a little bit of fun with this video. Let's do a toast to Jess, a toast to Eric, a toast to black metal fans all over the world, a toast to Old Man's Child. I can't believe I've never listened to this fucking album. It's so good. It's fucking good. It's fucking good. It's fucking good. It's fucking good album. Solid album. I might just have to make another black metal list just so that I can put this album on there. Well done. Well done, Old Man's Child. Well done. Classic. A very overlooked classic. I am going to recommend this to any and all fans of black metal. This is a Four Loko. I'm gonna drink some of it. Cheers, motherfuckers. Peace.